a smooth and uneventful match. I've already jinxed it.
Yeah. Bringing in your caster curse early, I see.
Yeah. It's for the plot, you know? But do you
Yeah.
have any predictions going into the match today?
Actually, genuinely no. I think that this is an incredibly even match. And I think it could actually go either way.
I totally agree with that. I think looking at the prediction, it seems pretty one-sided in favor of Żurek, but I think that's not giving very much credit to Team Dissing My Girl. I know at least Cam, I think that's right, and Molly are absolutely insane. I don't know much about Lazy, but I think she could be a bit of a dark horse in today's match. So I would absolutely not count Dissing My Girl out yet.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, like, even if you look, if I wait, yeah, Lazy's on 114, which is arguably the most nothing version as a 114 player.
Wow.
Hey, I am self-aware. It has, in theory, the least variability.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was me. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, it has the least variability overall, in my opinion, where I think that even if there is a slight difference where Malin has played more, I think that it could definitely be made up in other versions.
I somewhat agree with that. I think arguably though at this point it seems like 116 is a bit less of a variable version just because I think it's such a popular version. Like all of the runners in this tournament who are playing it are incredibly well versed in it. Whereas in 114, sometimes the runners playing that, like we saw in yesterday's match with Feinberg, maybe they're insane at one version, but 114 is their second version. So there could just be small, like, maybe there's not, massive inconsistencies, but there could be small, like, time saves here and there that could add up over the course of a run. So we'll see how that is with these runners. But let's see. Let's look at what we have on this seed. I haven't seen any temple or anything. It looks like just a village spawn with a big cave. I don't know a lot about this version, so I'm going to be relying on you to inform me about how this seed is.
I did technically play 116. No, wrong version.
That's what version this is.
Hold on a minute. What are we doing? Where am I? Somebody let Grandpa out of his home again. Yeah, I have technically played 1.7, but it's actually developed a lot in the past year since I played it. So I am already, I'm way behind the knowledge curve on it. In terms of what to expect, I don't think that there's any... the fanciest thing we can get in terms of tower is elevator. But beyond that, it should just be first day prep into early never. The main thing for tournament plays that you want to get that first day never completely done.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking about some of the other matches we've seen so far in this tournament, it seems like the two big areas of variability, well, the three big areas are Nether, whether they die to blazes or not. Then, as we saw with Marco's match, there was some issues with letting items despawn, so that's another big one. And then the third is end fights. So in my opinion, that's where we'll see the most variability in these runs and the most opportunity for any mess-ups or potential deaths.
Yeah, with 1.7 being the initial version, a lot of the time you would expect with Relay that whatever the... Oh, it's 10 I'll be Blacksmith. Okay, cool. Nice. You would expect that whatever the placements are coming out of 1.7 is generally expected to track further on. Obviously, that isn't true for every single one. Otherwise, this would be an incredibly boring tournament and may as well just be a 1.7 tournament. But as a kind of overall expectation,
I agree. I think as we discussed, 114 and 116 are not quite as variable as 1.7. So we might see the most variation in these runs. And in a way, there's almost the most pressure on these 1.7 runners to get their team ahead in this run. So we'll definitely see how that plays out. But now both of our runners are in the Nether. It looks like Lore is already at the spawner, killed his first blaze, whereas Cam is now routing the fortress. So hopefully, we'll stay pretty close here between these two runners, and we won't see any deaths.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know Cam from being a very big contender in the open tournament era.
Mhm.
Like, was always a name in 116 that had to be kept in mind. But I don't know if they actually have a 1-7 history in terms of running, or whether it's something they're just picking up for the tournament. Maybe chat can inform us on that.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, I'm not the most informed about this version, as I said, but it seems like the routing has been pretty good, which is something that definitely comes with time as you practice and as you run. So
Yeah,
hopefully, we won't see any major issues here that come from lack of experience.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, for the most part, like as you mentioned, just in terms of the variability, it's the end fight, the blaze fight, and the Rod going over the edge there for lore. Uh, end fight, blaze fight, and tower.
Yeah,
And it's mainly tower construction. Those are the main things that you're going to want to watch. It feels like right now, especially with that's quite a lot of armor that they've got stacked up there. Uh, it should be a relatively safe blaze fight, and it's mainly just about trying to be as efficient as possible in this split and moving on to guaranteeing that you get that tower build done right.
yeah, definitely. It looks like Cam is already ahead on blaze rods, maybe, but they have an open spawner, whereas Lure has an enclosed spawner, so that might make their blaze fight slightly more difficult. Once again, we won't see any deaths, but it looks like the rod rates are great on this seed, so I doubt they'll have to stay here for much longer.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that we don't have any massive, massive mess ups. It's always nice to see a close match where it could go either way compared
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
one
Oh
team
my god. Lore.
immediately Law going down to 3.5, and Cam
So it
also Cam's
looks
gonna
like when
burn.
I
Cam's
say
burning.
things,
Oh, never mind.
it looks like I'm not the commentator cursor this match. It looks like you are. So you just cannot say anything about the match going smoothly or people not dying. I'm the only one who gets to say those things.
I'll just not talk in general. You can hold down the solo commentary,
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna be like, okay, it looks like we have the tower here. I don't know what tower it is, but it is a tower. That would be what it was like if I commentated on my own.
I mean, I don't think you could expect that information from me either. I think
Okay.
as we move on, like, I really need to get put in a commentary booth with somebody that actually knows 1-7 so that I can pick up from what they're saying.
No,
'Cause
absolutely. I'll be like, okay, how about you commentate 1-7 and then I can contribute something in the other two versions, you know?
ah,
But
I like talking
hopefully,
about 114 though. I actually know that version.
yeah. I mean, thinking about your match yesterday, it went very smoothly for you. I'm sure you could give lots of comments about their villager trading technique. So I'm
I
looking forward to that.
I am looking forward to not bringing up my match as much as possible.
Okay, I will avoid that. So Tom in chat says if you say a random three-letter combination, you've got a 30% chance of it being a 1.7 tower, and I think that's actually the strategy I'm going to use going forward in this match. But it looks like Lore is now out of the nether, pushing cords and trying to find a spot to build his tower. This isn't looking like the flattest desert ever, but hopefully he won't have too many issues. And Cam is now running back to their portal. And so just only if, I would say a minute or so behind. But at this point, I feel like it almost doesn't matter because they have similar amount of time to build their towers.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that they get back in time. Cam should be perfectly fine on that front. Law going to be doing. I mean, this, like, I talk about not knowing towers, but this just is the build
Yeah.
from everybody that I've seen, effectively.
Okay. Looks like they're
Like,
doing the BLT tower. Bacon, lettuce, tomato.
yeah, the leaves is the lettuce, the bed is the tomato, and
The bed
what?
is the bacon. No, wait, no, the nether rack is the bacon.
Yeah, what's the bread in that?
I don't know.
Asking the real questions here. All right, what is the name of this tower? Somebody,
Someone
so
in chat give us
because
the
then I can
correct
just
answer
confident.
for the name of this tower.
Yeah. Yes, the BLJ. Yeah, the backwards long jump. Of course, everybody knows that.
The one block tower. The
OBT.
BJR tower.
BJR Tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I actually used to commentate 1.7. There was nobody had a name for the not 1.7, 1.16. Nobody had a name for the bridge route where you jumped across. So I just decided to start in a couple of commentaries calling it the BJR route because nobody
Oh
had
my
a better
God.
name for it.
That's really funny. I mean, it's the fact that they could name it literally anything and they just did not come up with anything.
I mean,
Okay.
maybe they did, but I'm always willingly uninformed. All right, it looks like Law's ahead of pace compared to Cam here. Cam's
Yeah.
starting to dig down. Looks like it's safe. I didn't see actually if either of them set up their recovery, because you can get the sand to elevator it up, but I don't believe. Actually, it
I
looks
don't
like yes,
know.
that's exactly what Law's doing,
Okay.
and also testing it by throwing that cobble there. So he'll be able to know if it works or not, and we'll be able to elevator it up. I presume that he has the sand set up so that it will automatically push it up as he goes for a reset. Yeah, he does have the sand set up on the tower. Okay.
It looks like Cam actually made up a little time here on the tower build because they started almost exactly the same time Lore did, whereas they got out of the nether about a minute later. So it's good to see that the runners are back more in a similar position now, and that Cam didn't lose too much of their nighttime to the tower build.
Yeah, I think unironically it helped Cam that they took a bunch of damage. Well, they took like over half their health when they dropped down from the tower, whereas Law had to chunk through his entire health bar.
I see. That makes sense. Looks like both runners are getting really good spawns here, actually. I saw like, I think 4 or 5 for Cam, so that's great. For those of you in chat who don't know, we have the tournament mod that raises the drop rates of ender pearls to like 63%, I think. So neither of these runners should have any issues getting enough pearls before the night is even over.
Exactly. Yeah, for the most part, it's just going to be about tracking how many drops you've had and what, being able to count when you drop down. Like,
it looks like Cam already dropped down once to check. I am not smart enough to see how many that they had, but hopefully it was a good amount. I don't have like
some very small pixels.
the eye brain coordination to see.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, for the most part, it will just be about periodically checking and making sure. Ooh, wait. Why is Law breaking his sand? That means his elevator won't automatically work.
Oh no, I know what that means.
Elevator is it automatically pushing it up to the surface.
Okay.
You can make it so that your items automatically get sent to the surface at the end of the tower rather than having to drop down and tower back up.
Interesting. Is there any risk to doing that, or is it like pretty foolproof?
The risk is if there's cave systems around, it can glitch out into the cave systems and you lose all the items.
I see. That
so
would.
It is technically a hard reset condition, but like if that goes, because you have no way to recover it. But for the most part, it seems like it is the preferred method because of the theoretical risk versus reward of time save of being able to not go all the way down.
Yeah. Although, I mean, in a tournament setting, it slightly changes the risk versus reward, like, calculation because, as you know, I'm sure, like, there's pressure to do well, not only for yourself, but for your team. And if you have to reset that run, it's not like you can just go on to the next seed. Like, you have to play it again and you have to finish it. So since maybe because he dug through a small cave on his way down, he decided that that wasn't quite worth the risk. I don't know. I'm not in the mind of a 1/7 runner.
Caves aren't risky, but they can steal hidden dirt/gravel? Huh?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just some random chatter that has no idea what they're talking about.
Surely, it's not Spinnaker or anything.
Alright. Law with a check there. I had no chance of seeing what it was,
Yeah.
but presumably since... Oh, looks like actually has done the reset. Looks like Law has
Yeah.
everything that he needs going to drop down to the bottom and do
Definitely
the hard...
not doing
Oh, wait.
elevator. Uh-oh.
Is he too...
Okay.
He gets...
We're good.
He has 16 pearls. So, in a very good place here.
Yeah, that should definitely be enough for some pearl travel, which, I think I've not seen many 1/7 runners do, but hopefully we'll see that from Lore. And it looks like Cam also might be finishing up here. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking the bed, they slept. Gonna be dropping all the way down. Oh, even did the water plate here. Okay, so Cam going very classic.
Interesting.
No.
And they're even exiting with pearls, so that should get
I
them
like that.
a little bit of a quicker exit than what Lore had. And they also slept and it's day for them, so they don't have to worry about quite as many mobs. I think that was a good strategy on the exit, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. Also, I now understand what you're on about with the Enderman picking up dirt. So in theory, you can handle that when you're digging down, but it's not ideal, where you can replace it as you're digging down. Wait, is Law's already triangulating, I believe.
Wow, this must be a pretty close stronghold then.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around here. I'm not 100%, but he did do a decent amount of... They can pick up through other blocks. What? 1/7's so dumb.
Why is this stronghold so nearby? What the fuck?
Lord... Oh, actually, never mind. Cam's also there. They're actually right next to each other.
Yeah.
We'll see whether Cam travels too far here, because it is literally where he's standing.
Yeah. I mean, as I think you
standing.
mentioned a little bit, Laura had done a little more triangulation coming into that area, so there's a higher chance that Cam is going to overshoot it pretty far, but hopefully they will throw another eye soon and see that it's going backwards.
Yeah, I think gonna mine that tree and then throw again at the edge here.
Ooh,
No,
that's
they're
pretty
still
far.
going. Okay.
Okay,
I
straight
think they'll be
backwards.
hard. Most likely gonna need another one to check. How much flint prep have either of these guys done? It looks like Law has all of his arrows prepared.
Yes.
24 in total, which should be fine for an end fight. Goes down for Cam now, so they should be entering soon. Pearl to main island, very nice to have in the bank. Insta-charge coming out here. Not many towers. Double pearl throw. That's going to be a lot of the health bar off
Oh
of
my
Lord
gosh.
here. Looks like managed to get damage immune on one of them.
I mean, only with, I think, I could be wrong. That either says 2 or 7 pork chops. I think it's 7, actually. Okay, if it was 2, I was going to be a little concerned, because I think, you do take a lot of damage during these 1.7 end fights. But since it's 7, I think he's going to be fine.
This seems like a pretty ideal end fight setup.
Yeah.
Like, there is very few towers. You want, like, if I recall correctly for 1/7, you want enough towers to bait charges without having too many towers to heal up.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely seen some choked end fights in this version, so I wonder if we'll have any issues with these runners, but it seems pretty good so far. It looks like Cam also gets an insta charge because they're now in the end, taking down the first tower and maybe gonna bow the dragon a little bit. So yeah, this is very close between these two runners, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cam is actually. Ooh, doesn't take too much damage, so that's good. I wonder if he still has enough beds though.
Yeah, both of them dropped again. He just needs to actually trigger it. Decent damage there. Should be... I mean, that is one bettable, I believe, depending on how much regen the dragon gets. I mean, the dragon's just off. Say bye-bye, dragon.
Oh my goodness. Cam accidentally placed 2 beds instead of a bed and a block, and I thought it was gonna blow them up. I was so stressed out there for like half a second.
Look at the health bar on Law's dragon.
Oh, and Cam gets it. Oh
Count.
my god.
Oh my. Yeah, those
It is
failed beds
so
really punish Law.
close.
This is okay. So Lazy versus Malin is going to be very interesting. Lazy
Yeah.
definitely the runner we have the least information on. Just overall, we don't know much about her, but I'm rooting for a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last thing you ever want to see is any disappointment for these runners because of how difficult, the tournament is and the stress is. So I'm hoping that we see clean runs out from both of them. Okay,
Yeah,
it
going
looks
to be
like,
spawning on top of the temple.
it looks like Lazy's game crashed, so we might have to wait a minute to see her point of view. But hopefully it won't be too long. Oh, world file action going on right now. It looks like we're playing on a Mac.
Ooh. That'd be yikes.
Ooh, that
Playing
might be an automatic loss for her team.
Just playing on a Mac.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
Malin spawning on the temple, immediately blowing it up. I believe there was some gravel at the bottom that he didn't collect. Might have been andesite though. Do have bad eyesight.
yeah.
Looks like I'm squinting, but I believe that is a plains village that he's heading over to. Has an option to blow up some
Yes.
gravel here. Will he opt for it? That's going to be a no. Does he have no? No, those are just full
Oh,
of
Lazy. Oh, I thought she was not going to be able to break all the extra TNT in time before it blew up. I was so stressed. I'm like constantly
fine.
scared that these runners are going to blow themselves up.
I mean, if you're gonna die, at least die that quickly. It looks like there's a
Exactly.
blacksmith here. I haven't seen
Maybe.
Love Pool on either runner's perspective. So, I mean, on the one hand, 10 obby would be cool. On the other hand, 10 obby is also incredibly lame.
Yeah. Somewhat agreed. It looks like
Okay.
I think
yeah.
it was actually gravel down there, and it looks like Lazy did go for it because I think she has a bunch of flint. I could have misseen it,
Yeah.
but hopefully. So this is
like-
looking like a dark oak seed that is, in my opinion, slightly more difficult in terms of routing than a village would be, but I don't
Oh,
think it would cause any issues for these runners.
hard disagree.
Really?
Hard disagree. I think Dark Oak is so free compared to Village.
Okay.
I mean, okay, actually, I'll rephrase. In general, like generalized seeds, tournament, it's probably better to Village because you have the guaranteed gaps and you're guaranteed a good seed. In general, though, Dark Oak is so much more consistent than Village.
Okay, that's interesting. I think my thought process was along the lines of like the travel time between the village and the Dark Oak Forest, but I don't think that should cause any issues because it's literally right there. And also, I'm sure these runners are well versed enough that they can manage the little extra travel time,
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Yeah, Dark Oak taking no inventory management. Like, you
Yeah.
can get bad RNG on a Dark Oak, but it's so much easier to get bad RNG on a Village.
Yeah.
Also,
Looking like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the fact that, like, villages are awful on village accounts as well, so being able to trade at a different village type is also very nice.
Very true. I don't think they did end up getting 10 obbies, so it looks like they have to both run back into the desert to try to find a lava pool. But I saw on Lacey's screen that she has 16 flint.
Yeah,
So I don't think that will be an issue for her going forward.
yeah, that is nuts. But it is, like, the 25% is a big number when it comes to it. It definitely lowers the relevance of doing gravel explosions. But I'm still a fan of it, especially in seas where you have a lot of gunpowder.
Yeah.
Looks like the enter has been located by Malin.
So someone in chat asked, do people generally do second day training or first day training? So this match is being run on 114. So we're generally gonna see people doing second day training just because it's, I don't even think first day training is really a thing in 114. So, oh, okay, then I'm wrong.
It just has to be cracked.
Okay.
I've done some first day trading practice. It's basically like playing 115, but on a worse uh mechan. No,
Like
computate. The game's worse.
it's
115 is a better
laggier.
version to play.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like Melon is now in the Nether and sees, this blaze spawner right away. So it is exposed, so that might cause some issues, especially since he does not have a shield. But I imagine he has enough experience in the version that it won't be too bad.
Oh,
Oh, the first
there
rod
goes the rod.
falls.
Yeah. You always hate that in tourney seeds because you know that your opponent is getting the exact drops. So
Yeah,
there is a world where you lose that rod and you have to wait like another 5 compared to your opponent.
absolutely. That definitely is a factor. And now we are seeing Lazy enter the Nether. She is a little bit behind Melon now, but part of that is definitely because of the time she lost to having her game crash. So if it comes down to it, we can always retime out that difference. But hopefully we just see, a clean run out here from her as well, no deaths, and she can do a little bit of catching up.
Yeah, instantly beeline to the spawner, has the uh shield in inventory, so will be theoretically safer overall. I'll be honest, I'm surprised. Like, Malin's a big 115 player,
Mhm.
which, is effectively it's extremely similar to 114 in many ways. So I considered the Blaze fight one of them, but Malin looks extremely uncomfortable right now. Potentially nerves in this
Yeah,
situation.
definitely. I mean, it's interesting to me that he chose not to make a shield because if Lazy had enough iron to make it, then obviously Melon did as well. So that was definitely an intentional choice, and it seems to be firing a little bit on him. So we'll see what damage that causes moving forward. Something I was thinking about is that it's possible since he's used to playing lower food blaze fights in 115 with like ocean strats, he thought, he would be perfectly fine in this fight without a shield, and it's possible that the tournament nerves are slightly making that more difficult than he expected.
Yeah, quite a while taken before either of them start mining out the spawner to
Mhm.
increase the spawn rates, but Malin are almost completely done on that front. Both of them look like they're being relatively successful here. I don't believe the village had a brewing stand, so this should be an 8-rod blaze farm compared to the normal 7 that you would expect.
Um,
Wait,
I
Malin
mean,
dislikes 114? That's never come up.
he's never aggressively discussed that in the relay Discord. Something that I'm curious about is they have a plains village, which usually have quite a few bed houses. So I'm curious why neither runner chose to do blaze bed. I wonder if it was like too small of a village for them to have that extra bed.
Uh, I mean, I think it makes a lot more sense not to do it for Malin because of the fact that it's an open spawner and he's made the decision to not run shield.
Yeah.
I also think I'm going back and forth internally. I think that the spawner that Malin's farming at would be better for blaze bedding though, comparatively.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like Chad is worried um about Lazy's rates here. So I'm gonna just make sure that she has the proper world file
Wait,
with
she has
the
0 rods?
data pack.
She has. Malin got rod from first blaze, yeah. Maybe second blaze, but definitely should not be at 0 right now.
Okay, so the issue could be that her game crashed, she recreated the world instead of re-downloading it, which would remove the data pack. So we're clarifying with her referee right now what's going on, and if
Literally
it
0.
is the case that she doesn't have the data pack, we're gonna figure something out. That's what's gonna happen.
This has to, like, you do not get this bad RNG without it being some sort of data pack.
Yeah, I guess.
She got a billion from Flint from TNT, also true. The data pack is definitely active, but it seems like it's malfunctioning because this is not
Okay.
like this just isn't RNG.
Then the
Like,
other option is if she has the incompatible mod. So I'm gonna ask about that as well.
oh yeah. For anybody that isn't aware, this data pack does have a mod that it is not compatible with. Runners were made aware and given plenty of notice ahead of time, so it would be a runner error if that is the issue. Just to make anybody aware before anybody got angry if somebody says, oh, it's actually her fault. If that is the case, then it actually is.
Yeah. I mean, it's technically, it could be also considered like partially the referee's fault just for not checking before the match, but it really should be on the runner to make sure that they have the proper mods. So it looks like she. Okay, this is weird. I'm gonna let the people who are not commentating this match figure it out while I try to commentate the match. For those of you who don't know, I'm like one of the tournament organizers for this event. So it's like my immediate reaction was like figure out exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. But I think I'm just gonna let other people worry about that while we watch Malin blow up some Dark Oak Forest.
I'm gonna be honest, as somebody that I I'm gonna give a hot take here and say that regardless of whether or not you can fix this right now, this 114 seed needs to be replayed. You need to give them a different seed because the time, like, it would not be fair to have Lazy keep playing this out with the bug, and it would not be fair to have her restart and have seed knowledge ahead of time
Yeah.
and then use whatever time it is there. You need to give them both a new seed. This is just
Okay.
flat out.
Let's. Okay, I'm gonna take one sec.
Yeah. At the end of the day, casual backseating tournament organization, I don't want there to be drama. I want
Yeah.
everybody to have a fair chance, and I think that I think that what I just said is the best way that it should be handled.
So what we could do is, as an option, is just move on, play 116 now, and then, as you said, come back to 114 on a different seed. Obviously, that would probably not be the most happy thing for the runners, but it's probably what's going to be smoothest for the tournament. So I'm gonna tell the referees to give seeds for 116 and move on to that.
What I think would make most sense is instead of just doing that, is calling a pause right now, explaining the situation to both teams, and then doing a fresh countdown for 116.
Yeah. Okay.
Just fell asleep. What happened? Lazy's data pack broke, so getting literally 0 rod drops. So 114 will have to be redone.
Okay. So we're having slight issues. What's going to happen now is we are going to take a pause while the referees give the 116 seed. We're going to find a new 1.14 world file to be played for this match. Then we're going to make sure that Lazy has all her proper all her proper mods, all the right world files while 1.16 is being played. And then we're going to go back to 114 last. So
yeah. For anybody that missed it and is just joining us, 1-7 was incredibly close. And because of coming out of it, and because of that, it makes it even more important that this part is gotten right and everything is treated properly. Like, everybody deserves a fair shake to win their match, and this is unfortunately the best situation that can be provided.
yeah. So yeah, this match is going to be a little longer. It's a little scuffed, but we appreciate your guys' patience and also helping with pointing out the issue of her rod rates, because obviously, with all the other things going on, that was not something I think either of us were paying absolutely the most attention to.
just randomly, first time chatter, it's all Bill Gates.
That is
fault.
so true. I agree.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Right now what I'm doing is getting a new 114 file for them. So that's why I'm being a little quiet.
Alright. Microsoft Corporation broke my stronghold. So true. Yeah. So we'll be moving on to 116 for now. We'll be giving the 116 seed to Molly and Automat, who will play out their sections of the run, and then we'll return back to 114 at a later point.
Yes. Okay, so now that we have a little time to kill, what do you think of the match so far, besides the scuffed 114 incident?
Well, 1-7 was great. I think that we saw a bit of the inexperience on both runners' parts. I think the Law definitely felt a lot more uncomfortable with the end fight compared to Cam, but just in general felt a lot more comfortable with how they were going around the version. And I think that Lazy definitely looks like they can contest Malin in 114. So I think this genuinely is set up to go either way.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, as I mentioned earlier on, Lazy, and as you said as well, Lazy is the runner that we have the fewest information about. And so, like, seeing that she can very much hold her own in 1.14 and contest Malin is very refreshing, especially for me, because I was looking forward to a close match. So hopefully, we'll also see a close match between Molly and Automat.
Yeah. Looks like we have a jungle spawn that's going to be set up for the two of them here on 116.
So, I mean, what would you even get from a jungle spawn? Would that be like a jungle temple entry?
I would assume that it's going to be Rune Portal Jungle Temple. Either that or they like turn around and there's a village right there.
Yeah, I think that could be true. I totally forgot that rune portals were even a thing, so I was like, are they gonna get 10 obby from the jungle temple? That's that's totally possible.
Yeah. A little bit impossible. Melons. Yes, melons will be the main food source. Actually, purely on that basis, I would expect there to be a village because of how bad jungle food sources are.
Yeah,
Like, in general, especially in the early rounds, the difficulty curve is relatively low, so I'd expect there to be a food source.
I tend to agree, although in my opinion, like, these 1.16 runners, especially in this match, are probably experienced enough to be given a more difficult seed. So it's possible that we might just see, a few golden carrots for the run, or that they have to kill hoglins in the nether or something at like a bridge bastion. So I think it's somewhat possible that we could just see melons here at the beginning. So it looks like we have about 20 seconds left until we're going to get started again. So yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah, gonna be counting in here. Looks like Automat's timer is auto-started, which, not ideal, but it's fine. Should be, yeah, cutting in now. Ocean, okay. Potential BT. But I don't believe I see either runner actually succeeding at locating it. This is already a very oddball start. I don't think either runner currently has an idea of where their source of iron is going to be.
If we're starting next to an ocean, I think it would be a fair assumption that there is some sort of shipwreck nearby, but this is definitely a very odd seed so far.
Yeah, like that would definitely be the default assumption, but it also doesn't inherently mean that that's true. Jungle Temple, I don't believe that we've seen one, but it is definitely a viable single structure for everything other than the food aspect. But as mentioned earlier, I would be surprised for it to not be a shipwreck.
Yeah.
Just
I
general assumptions.
Looks like the runners are having the same thought process, and Automat does get out first here and see the shipwreck and a
And
magma ravine right next to it, so hopefully this routing won't cause any issues. And yeah,
yeah,
Molly has found it as well.
not the greatest foods. Actually, some carrots, so that's fine.
Plenty of
Carrots,
rotten flesh if they want to risk it.
yeah. Well, I mean, just in general, carrots are always going to be great because of the amount of gold that you get.
Mhm.
Unless you get like a low gold stables where every single one counts.
Yeah, absolutely. But I honestly, knowing this other seeds we've had in this tournament, I kind of doubt that that would be something given. But we'll see. It's always possible. Both runners are getting to build their portals here at pretty much exactly the same time. Molly has a slight misplace of one of her lava buckets, but no huge issues. And
Yeah, very.
do you want to say the line or should I say the line?
Nah, you can go crazy with it.
Okay, they're neck and neck, chat. If you have that on your bingo card, you can check it off.
Oh, is that fair if you're playing to the bingo card?
I want there to be a bingo for today's match because I feel like with all the technical issues, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. I mean, currently Molly's slightly behind. It looks like it's going to be a bridge bastion. Let's see if BJR route makes a comeback.
Oh my god. Totally not out of date route. But I mean, this is great for them because with all the carrots they have and like the so many gold blocks from the bridge bastion, they should be able to have plenty of food for the run. So that shouldn't cause any issues.
Yeah, no TNT, so we'll be manual mining of the chalice. Interesting to see whether either of them will opt to not take full. With it being a tournament, I would expect them to take all of it, but I've seen crazier things happen.
I agree. I would expect them to take all or like all but one, especially because they have to make those golden carrots. I think it would be the smart decision to take all of it.
Oh,
Oh my
automatic.
goodness.
He's
Oh,
dead.
he's so dead. There's no way. Okay,
Unfortunate. That's going to have to be a hard
hopefully the
reset.
stuff is saved.
No, that's not salvageable. Molly taking a safer route in comparison. Very nice decision making on her part. Noticing that the terrain opened up in a convenient way. Not going to be able to do that right side triple, so... Oh? What's going to be the choice here? Is going to do the jump across here. And will trade on this side, but it's bad gap over here, and she's not getting any pigs.
No.
What's going to be the choice here? Because she's dropped down now. Zombie pigmen here. It's going to be a lower... It's just going to be an impromptu lower bridge hole, which...
It looks like we're doing Benx route here. I'm so excited.
You can find, right?
I mean, this is kind of that. Like, we have some 3 pigs trading. It's like bridge, which is perfect for Benx route, you know, because they have so much gold in obvious locations.
Yeah. I very much respect the decision making that she's going through here.
Yeah, no, I think it's about the best she could make with this kind of shitty bastion, but
Yeah.
I think there was like 5 or so pigs that came when she broke the block, so not terrible. Lots of gold to trade, but a few extra guys coming over here. Automat is making his way back into the nether. It looks like he completely reset the seed instead of trying to run back, which in my opinion was the right decision given how close his stuff was to lava when he died. But now he knows a bit about the routing, a bit about what the seed is like, so he'll recover pretty quickly.
Yeah, not too far behind. Is effectively just the bastion split behind, which can be made up with just better pathing in general. Opting to get quite a lot of blocks here, potentially because he knows that he has to pillar up. Molly going through and looting the singles here, probably trying to find some nice source of obby to be able to supplement doing double travel, but definitely is a potential home portal seed.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing to consider is that double travel is not guaranteed on these 160 seeds. So home portal travel is absolutely something these runners need to be prepared for. And I think if any seed were to not give 20 obby, it would be one. Also, we are getting word that
You were
Lazy
saying?
has. Oh, excellent. Lazy has gotten her 114 working with the data pack, so we will be moving on to the new 114 seed after this is done. Amazing.
Okay.
You know?
Do we know what the issue was?
Uh, I think she just had to restart her instance. I don't know what the issue was, but that did fix it. So that's all I can know.
Fair enough. Okay, so Automat also having the realization that there's not really any good routes here. There's very few pigs up top. He's got 3 of them here. Looks like he's going to try to double back and do, like, dip? No, just going to Ben exit.
Okay,
Here's a hole.
respect. I'm
Yeah.
surprised, honestly, with how quickly Molly was able to get out of the Bastion, given, how few pigs she had in the unoptimal location she was playing from. But she's already in the fortress, which is amazing, and she's got 3 strays here. So maybe she could even get, like, almost half of her rods just in the very beginning.
Yeah. Her hotbar cuts off, so I'm not quite sure. Well, I think that might actually not even be the obby on her hotbar, but I'm not quite sure what obby count she's at.
Mhm.
I haven't seen a pearl hanger or anything. I think the RD is down just to do blaze hunting.
Yeah, I think you're right. So
That is obby on the hotbar, so I'd assume that she's got to be doing double travel. Like, despite the fact that there was a massive influx from one of the chests.
yeah. I think I'm not entirely sure what she's going to be doing, but I don't think this fortress is too far from the home portal. So even if she does end up having to do home portal travel, it shouldn't be too much of a time loss. And obviously, either way, Automat will have to do the same thing. So, but I do think that home portal, obviously, since it's not what's commonly done in speed runs, is going to be slightly more difficult to navigate for these runners. So that could definitely show a big time difference between the two of them.
Yeah. Specific, like being able to hit so specifically from that far of a distance is incredibly difficult.
Mhm. Although since they have their calculators, it might
Oh
not be as difficult.
no! Please tell me you're not. Okay, that's home portal. Thank
Yes.
goodness. I thought that she was pulling to send a blind.
Oh my god.
Like even if you don't like something I like is if you're not confident in hitting the stronghold, like you get a low percentage, just hit surface, blind high in the area. Like it still saves so much time than just gambling.
Yeah. Looks like she is using the calculator, so that should make it more precise than if she was just like kind of guessing at it. Do you remember the days of like 1.14 double travel where it was like you would take the angle and then it was like you either went to like 150, 200 or like 150, 150 or like whatever it was. And there was like that list of like angles that corresponded to different coordinates. I'm nostalgic for
Yeah.
that.
I miss Axis.
Yeah.
Axis Calc was, in my opinion, the best era
I think
where people actually had it figured out, and I had so much respect for it.
Oh yeah. I miss when people actually had to do math in their runs. I think that was fun because if they messed up the math, then I got to laugh at them, even though I would not also be able to do it.
Looks like consistently Molly's just staying one split ahead of Automat here.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, and
he did die one split in, so it kind of makes sense.
yeah, I mean, but it's not like all splits are consistent
Uh,
as their time variance. But she's going to be making her way to Quartz. I mean, the good old lesbian ninja brain bot is not very visible for the specifics, but I see green vaguely, so looks like she has a good idea of where it's going to be.
yeah. And it looks like this terrain is a bit tricky. Has to bridge over a lava lake here, but she has plenty of fire res, so not. Oops. potentially not causing any issues. And Automat is at the fortress now, fighting some blazes. I think the drops were pretty good, so he might be able to get it off of strays. Molly, I think she got most of hers off of strays, so we'll see.
I think that it's like very close to being a double spawner where you can rotate between.
Yeah. Doing some preemptive in the
Yeah.
strongholds.
Yeah, preemptive, always a nice strategy. Going to just be checking, going to be actually able to beeline straight towards it. Going to be a nice end enter time here. Just going to enter straight in. I hope that she has enough wood. Not quite sure on the wood or the string counts, but it's going to be a very fast end game here for Molly.
Yeah, and the home portal travel didn't end up slowing her down too much, so oh, are we going for zero cycle? Nope, no zero cycle. I don't really know anything about zero cycling except that sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So I was just it was like 50-50 for me.
I don't. Well, it is possible to zero cycle when you spawn enclosed. Did she spawn enclosed? I feel like she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. But in general, it's a very small timing. So it's more expected to just go for a one cycle in these situations. Is Automat going to land his... Okay, it doesn't land in the iceberg, thankfully.
It looks like his home portal is a little less smooth than Molly's. I think. Okay, he gets it off of 2 eye throws as well, and at 100%.
Perch here for Molly.
Oh, that was pretty quick.
Yeah,
He has 6
good RNG
beds.
on
So...
them. Yeah. 3 anchors as well, I believe that is.
Oh my goodness. And it looks like she 4 beds it anyway, so we'll be able to move on to 114 again. With the new world file, don't worry, no cheating here. And yeah, that's pretty exciting. Fingers crossed on no issues this time.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel as if even if you take the def out, I feel as if Molly is going to have a comparable single run time here to Automat, which is an awesome thing to have happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, both of those runners are insanely good. I think Molly, she either has like an 11-minute PB or a sub 10, I forget. But they're both very, very, very strong runners, and with both like strong mechanics and very good routing. So I'm not surprised that they have similar times on the seed. That's like fairly straightforward.
I mean, I don't know whether I'm misremembering this, but like I know for sure Automat's competitive tournament history. He has played a lot of tournaments, had a lot of high placements,
Yeah.
and is a well-respected tournament player. Molly is someone that everybody has always known had the skill, but what is... Oh, Automat's like, you're doing this to like go faster.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
That is...
Yeah. That's... Okay, this is just making me uncomfortable, and I can't even explain why. Just doesn't feel nice.
Yeah, I don't like that very much. Okay, he's doing his portal kind of low, which is good. So I'm sure it's in hopes of like spawning directly into the stronghold. And Lazy, it looks like she has a civilage and is choosing to blow up maybe 1 or 2 houses on the first day, which I'm not against, especially because she's less than 2 minutes in and already has her temple and is in the Savannah village. So I'm sure it won't cause any timing issues.
Immediate preemptive here for Automat as well. So should just beeline his way straight there. Yep, exactly does it. Preemptive, really nice. And also going straight in, so not going to be a 0 attempt here for Automat. But yeah, just finishing what I was going to say about Molly. Like, she's a runner that people have always known has the skill and has potential, whether it's not particularly been shown in RSG or tournament. Like, I feel like I remember that she was a tournament choker historically.
Interesting.
Where she didn't manage to perform in a few situations. So it's really nice seeing her come in, pull out a stable run, and I'm pretty sure beat Automat, who is inarguably, for anybody that watches the competitive scene, somebody that has always been near the top.
I absolutely agree with you. I think also Molly has not quite had as much tournament experience as Automat because, as you pointed out, he's basically any major tournament that you can think of, he was in it and he was doing well in it. I
Yeah.
think one of the very good things about relay is that, you have teammates in your call with you. You have people to help you out and to cheer you on. And while that can put extra pressure on the runners, I think it's also good for keeping them, less nervous and more happy. And so I think that that is probably what's helping bring out like that great potential in Molly in this event. And it, as you said, it is really wonderful to see.
Perch here for Automat. I mean, he's fine on beds, and it's a 116-1 cycle. It's
Just
not
blowing
much.
up the extra ones just for the fun of it.
Yeah. All right. On Sonia's end, sorry, reading that from chat. On Lazy's end, pretty standard early game. For the most part, the thing that was most of note from her was that she chose to blow up the village first, but it's completely understandable given the situation. What in the world is happening on the right side of that screen?
Oh, we got some I don't even know what that is.
That's Ninja Brain Bot, isn't it?
I don't know. Um, well, she sees the fortress, so that's good. It looks pretty open and she does have to bridge to it. So she
Crack.
there's the potential to get sniped by blazes. I we're just gonna have to ignore that, I think. We're gonna have to like
Yeah.
pretend that that's not there.
I think it's one of those things where she does not need to be worrying about getting rid of that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we have asked the runners to remove extra overlays and stuff from their screens, but this doesn't seem like it's, like
Intended.
anything that she did on purpose.
Bold creative decision.
Yeah, no, this is peak of comedic genius. Okay, it looks like it's gone now. I see some people in chat asking why 114 is being replayed. Just to answer that on stream for everyone, we had some data pack issues in the first run of it where Lazy's data pack was not working and she went 0 and 30 on Blazes. So we are replaying it on a different seed and now her version is fixed. The data pack is working fine, I think. So it should be fair between these two runners since neither of them have seen the seed.
Yeah, we're coming into 114 here with about a 3-4 minute, like it's just under 4 minutes, I believe, the advantage for dissing my girl when, like, obviously stream delay comes and goes, but roughly for the sake of this, we'll say 4 minutes difference.
Yeah. I think as we were discussing at the beginning of this match, 114 is a version where there's not usually a ton of time difference between the runners unless one of them makes some sort of large mistake. So I think these 4 minutes, while it is possible to make up for Malin, it will not be easy. So he'll definitely have to perform like at the very peak in order to be able to make up this time for his team, or alternatively, just hope that Lazy does something very wrong.
I don't think that showed on mainstream, but we just got a starting soon jump scare. Yeah. I think the thing with 114 is, for the most part, you are incredibly time locked.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be like that 1.7 was the version that was the big representative of that. I mean, actually, to be fair, it was both of them. But nowadays, 114 is very much the version where you can have the most insane early game. You've just got to hang your ass around until
Yeah.
until you can do what's called
Trading.
until you can do trading. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of seems like that's what's going to happen to Lazy here because she's going to be exiting the Nether around 7 minutes. And obviously, that's way too soon to even start trading. So while she can blow up houses here and start trading before the window starts on the second day, it's not, she is definitely going to be pace locked by this timing, which is a little just, I don't know. For me, I'm always like, how fast could 114 be if it wasn't the pace lock, right? But obviously that's just the reality of the category and both runners are going to have to deal with it. So it's not the end of the world.
She can't find her portal.
Oh no. Please.
Fine, not struggling with the pace lock on that. I think she's just going it should just be up here, I think, vaguely.
Yeah,
Below.
I'm surprised she didn't like. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. So we're going to be heading back in just as Malin heads in on the other side. But yeah, in terms of like, there is plenty that you can do. Like, I think that 114 is good at having effectively like there's plenty that you can do to time fill, and it really depends on the seed as to whether or not you'll need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if she had even had to run, 30 seconds farther for her lava pool, she would have had so much less time to do stuff. But, some examples of stuff she can do for time fill for everyone in chat: inventory management, crafting a
Oh
boat.
no, no,
Oh
don't do
no.
sandstone. No,
Oh no.
no, somebody back
Oh my
her, please.
god. Okay, for those of you who don't know, you're supposed to use like dirt, sand, or gravel as the base for your TNT in this version, because otherwise like the more blast resistant blocks, you probably won't get as much wood for it, and that can cause issues with getting enough for trading. So that's
Yeah,
why we're screaming at her not to do that.
she didn't craft extra TNT also.
Ooh,
So only has 7 for explosions, no gold to supplement the trading.
I think there was like 4 emeralds in the temple or something, but that could have been the other 114 seed. I don't know.
Ah, it's really funny that the commentator's screaming bingo square came from blowing up a house in 114.
Yeah. And not like
Oh.
someone falling and dying. See, like, look, there's so much wood left on that house. Oh, and her inventory is very full as well. Okay, if you want to talk about things that could let Malin make up enough time for his team to win, this is one of them. Like her not getting enough wood for trading.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very unfortunate. And
On
I
Mailed
think
has found an inside spawner, so should be completely safe on the split. Sets up his safety rail, which seems to be his comfort, but not opting to mine spawner again, which, like, actually opting to mine flint before mining spawner. Okay, weird.
you're shitting on Malin for like the order in which he does his extra tasks.
Well, okay. The reasoning for that is that gravel exists all the time.
Mhm.
Like, your spawner needs to be mined out as soon as possible so that you get the highest chance of getting the multiple spawns.
Yeah.
Because as much as it's RNG, which it's not RNG which blazes will drop. It is RNG how many can spawn per spawn. So
Yeah.
enabling as many to spawn as possible is very important and should be your highest priority there.
I agree. I think I think I mean, this is not really true of Malin, but what we can say with Lazy and her slight errors with the house blowing up, like in the inventory management. I'm not sure what her main version is, but to me that's indicative of someone whose main version is not 114 and they learned it for this tournament. Obviously not to insult her or anything, but I think those are small things that you learn over time with the version, and if you haven't had extensive experience with it, it's not something you're going to have picked up on. So I think that these like errors from her, while sad, I think if this is not her main version, it does make a lot of sense. And I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, Malin getting harassed by a ghast here on his exit, but does, I think, have it more clearly marked. Did he just go out of his way to get the ghast here? Well, yeah, has it more clearly marked, managed to spawn on the top side, so which makes it a lot more visible. So I'd say that that's a slightly faster Never Split coming out from Malin, which does mean that he has some opportunity to catch up. Obviously, the pace lock will factor in here. I believe that Lazy did sleep in good timing.
Yeah. So she has about 30 seconds before she can start trading here, but I don't think she started her villager setup yet. So I don't know. I'm thinking that she might not. Okay, no, she is going to start trading here, but
But
she
this
doesn't have a setup in the middle of the village.
she
So
does.
oh, she does. Okay. I'm just wrong.
It's fine. It happens to the best of us, and by that I mean me. Yeah. Trading in for 10 immediately gives out just a clean trade in with the cleric. Looks like it is going to be opting for single Fletcher, which, considering the flint rates in this data pack, is not a decision that I think it will pay off.
I agree.
Like, it's just so easy to get multiple fletching tables in this race mod that I think that it's just inarguably better. Also, just a small pet peeve on my part. Every time, for anybody that doesn't know, every time the Fletcher restocks, you can trade 16 times with him, which is the equivalent of 1 stack of wood. So if you turn a stack of wood into planks, you'll be able to turn, and then turn that into sticks, then you'll be able to trade entirely with the Fletcher until he can't restock anymore. Currently, Lazy is not making enough room in her inventory to be able to do it that efficiently.
Yeah. And I mean, she just picked up everything she dropped. Something that I'm thinking about with the Fletcher is, as we saw with Malin, like, he task overlapped waiting for those blaze spawns with mining out that gravel, and I'm sure he's gonna have enough flint for two Fletchers. So, as we saw with Lazy, she came out of the nether with enough time to do multiple tasks, right? Blow up the houses, sleep, probably mine out the flint. So I feel like she probably had some small routing errors that made it so she didn't have enough time to do that.
How close? Okay,
She
actually,
have
I
enough?
think that, yeah, she
Okay,
has
she's
enough.
fine.
She has enough, but she's got another 30 in the inventory.
Okay, that's not. Oh, no, she has. Okay, she's better now.
She's fine. But no bow and arrow.
Ooh,
It's 40.
interesting.
16 arrows.
I think that's
is-
a bingo square.
That is backing yourself. Like, 16 arrows is possible. There are only 10 towers, and, you know, that's a lot of accuracy. I respect if you can hit that, and I hope that she can hit that.
Does she even have a bow, though? I don't see it.
She has string.
Okay, we're good. I mean, the one bright side is that she technically doesn't have to take out all the towers. Like, it's not a requirement. Obviously, as we know, the more she takes out, the faster the perch is likely to be. And also, if she does mess up that first one cycle, it gives her more security if the dragon doesn't heal as much. But it's not a necessity to take out all 10 towers, so she'll probably still be okay for her end fight. It's just the more arrows you have, the more security it is in case you mess up the first one cycle.
Yeah. Just a couple of things I want to point out on Malin's end. Inventory management is also pretty awful on his part. Does have double bucket prepped, though. Still has his gap in tow, and also is only single Fletcher. So we should be effectively the same trading split. He's really trying to force me to vote here, which, for the most part, they're not walking there because they can't restock yet. Like, they will once it's time for them to be able to restock again, they will auto path there. So he's just kind of being a bit impatient. This definitely is, right now, Lazy's game to lose.
I agree. There's, at this point in the run, there's not a ton of stuff to make up, especially stuff that would allow Malin to make up time, especially because he's not going for double Fletcher, and he doesn't have, like, the perfect inventory management. So I think we really are relying on Lazy to make some kind of error in order for Malin to be able to come back in this run.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, 16 arrows is potentially that error. We've discussed throughout the course of this run the different aspects that make us feel as if Lazy is slightly less experienced within this specific version. And the one cycle in 114 is an infamous run killer.
It's a nightmare.
I don't think that it's that, I don't think it's that bad.
I hate it personally.
The person that very publicly failed many one cycle yesterday, I don't think it's that bad. I think it gets a lot more hate than it deserves, but like it's difficult for people that don't play the version.
Yeah. I especially because the timing is slightly different from 116. If she is in fact a 116 main, which I don't really know, and had not sufficiently practiced the 114 cycle, that could definitely lead to some punishment on this end game.
You know what I want to see right now? From oh my
Oh,
goodness,
what?
Phelan is
He's
using
using,
sandstone too,
and he used a
and
flint and steel.
a flint and steel.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, if you use a flint and steel and the explosion hurts a villager, you'll get the trading, like, what's it called? The
Pricing.
increased prices.
Yeah.
But if you use a button, you won't, because I think it's like about whether the explosion damage was like attributed to you or not. So you're always supposed to use a button just in case it hits a stray villager.
Yeah. But also using sandstone in the explosion. Sandstone and flint and steel screams like an inexperience of 116. Of
Yeah.
114.
Which is
Wait.
weird because it's Malin. He does
Well,
know this version.
But he's a 115 runner. Don't know if you've heard, but
True.
it's not inherently like they're not one for one. I'm surprised that a 115 runner would not have that knowledge. But it happens. Gonna be digging down here for Lazy. Did do some very specific eye measurements, so should be digging straight down on this here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even if she for some reason doesn't hit the starter staircase, I'm sure she'll be somewhere in the stronghold. And Malin is now also running to the stronghold. I'm not sure how many pearls he has, but I doubt it's enough to do any pearl travel. Lazy hits a stronghold, doing some routing. No preemptive, although I'm not even sure if that's possible in this version.
It's illegal.
So...
Hi.
Oh, right. Listen, I have not been up to date in MCSR in like a year. I don't know these things.
Lazy forgot wood. And is getting free string. Did she throw out? I swear she had string. It doesn't really matter. But
I think she used it to craft
20-minute lag. Oh, probably. Well, at least good awareness there to realize that you still need the bow. I really want to see a safety bed here from Lazy. Like, last time I commentated, I was bad-mouthing safety beds.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going in with 16 arrows, give yourself a backup. Give yourself, like, have a plan 2, a plan B prepared.
I agree with you. The only issue is I saw her crafting wool, and obviously we saw her getting wood, so I don't think she has enough resources for an extra bed. Which, if she's that tight on beds and she only has 16 arrows, that is not very promising for this end fight, but we'll see.
What is going to be... So it's going to be a nether brick. Oh, it's waterlogged. Oh, Lord, it's waterlogged.
Ew.
Waterlogged.
I hate waterlogged.
Okay. Yeah. There's just a good amount of... Oh,
not even checking to see if the arrows hit. What a Chad.
Okay. My anxiety is rising, and I don't want to say anything that can be attributed to a cat.
Okay, 6 beds, 7 beds. That's a number of beds.
Agreed. Can vouch.
She stares directly into the eye of an Enderman, but since it wasn't her crosshair, it doesn't matter. Oh, nice shot. Okay. Let's see. Do we think Malin is approaching the stronghold here? He has been running for quite a while. I don't think he did any sort of calculator, but I'm not entirely sure. So we might see manual triangulation. Oh, that was... A dragon just baited her.
Oh, angry Enderman. Angry Enderman.
Okay, she got it.
Okay, then.
Oh, and missed a perch. Don't even try to go for that.
Oh, be careful of it launching you. Please get water bucket on your hotbar right now in case it launches you on takeoff.
Did she lose beds? Why does she only have 5 in her hotbar now?
I don't know. I'm just a mess right now.
This is like an emotional turmoil for you.
I really want to see her succeed here. Like, but the pessimist. Oh yeah, she waterlogged. Okay, thank you, chat.
Ugh, waterlogged. Ugh.
The pessimist in me can just see so many things going wrong here.
Her stair is gone?
Oh my
She
god.
doesn't have anything else to make a slab out of. I don't even think she has a crafting table. Oh my god, she's doing full block and there's an Enderman.
The Enderman's mad at her. She has a crafting table. She's recrafting the stairs. Malin's digging down to the stronghold right now. You can see that the pressure is getting to lazy right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her at all.
Oh, please, 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 please.
Safety bed. Should have done the safety bed. Oh my god.
Okay, good block movement there. Dragon's still out and about. Script writers were Polish.
True.
Okay. Which way? Malin's going to RNG check the correct way first. We could be seeing both runners in the end here.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, that is a
I don't
lot
think
of
I have the emotional, like, wherewithal to deal with this close of a match, because that's gonna mean another retime.
He didn't check the staircase that the portal's down, I think, if I was paying attention correctly to where it was.
Oh no. Oh, she blocked. Okay, no, she got the water.
Oh my goodness, please. Okay. Not bad damage. Good damage.
Good damage.
Yes.
She got it? Okay.
She got it. Okay.
Okay. And I think this is probably enough distance between the two teams that we're not going to need a retime. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I swear to God, this runner played with my heart.
I know. I was rooting for her. Okay. So congratulations to Team Dissing My Girl for, after a pretty technically scuffed match, for taking the win. I think we're gonna try to have one or both teams in here for a post-match interview. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited. What were your initial thoughts about this match after watching it?
Oh, after watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to comment on the fact that the predictions and just general perception was that this was so favored towards, I haven't listened to the Google Translate in a while, towards the Polish team.
Yeah.
But, like, Dissing My Girl, I think, literally won every version individually.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if Malin had finished, he might have finished faster. But definitely with 1.7 and 1.16, they did finish those versions faster individually.
Like, it's not like Automat's death was the be-all, end-all, like, of the entire thing. I think that, like, Dissing My Girl just showed up and played well.
Yeah.
And I have to just put some respect on their name here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we discussed, like with these players, especially with Molly, we knew that they were really strong runners, but we didn't know if they were going to let the tournament nerves get to them. So I think seeing this very strong performance and them having the reassurance that they can perform well in a tournament will have more confidence moving forward and hopefully even diminish those nerves. Also, it looks like both teams are going to be doing an interview, so I will drag them in now.
Eventually.
What was your time on 1.16, Molly?
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi. How are we? Congratulations to Team Dissing My Girl and a great match to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Also, we've just been asked to clarify to you guys that in 1.7 and 1.16, both versions that were completed, Team Dissing My Girl did finish first. So we're not going to do a retime just because we don't feel that it's close enough to necessitate that. So hopefully there's no concern on your guys' end about any issues. But if there is, we'd be happy to clarify. Yeah, hopefully it was a great match. Would you guys be interested in talking over the seeds?
Why
Sure.
not?
I don't really remember it, but yeah.
Okay.
It
Well,
was,
then let's
I
start with
remember a bit.
1.7.
Okay. I was surprised there was no temple. I was expecting a temple. I don't know why. It's not guaranteed. I knew it wasn't guaranteed, but I just only play temples, so it was.
Yeah, fair enough. Were you
but
were you
no, it was
playing for
fine.
trampoline?
No, I don't know it, so I
Okay.
kind of got rewarded for not knowing it. But
Yeah, from what we gathered from chat, you have a history in 1.7, but are not completely up to date. Would
no,
that be accurate?
I played a bit last year and I kind of just stopped. But I came back a couple weeks ago to practice for relay. But I didn't learn any new tech, because I thought that'd be too complicated.
Fair enough.
I mean, from
What?
my limited knowledge of the version, your like routing and decision making seemed very good. So I'm glad that you were able to get enough practice in before the tournament started. And yeah, I don't think we have Lore in here, so we cannot ask him any questions about the 1.7 seed.
Yeah,
No, he
I
has
can
to
say for him that he was surprised with Obsidian and no lava pool. Like there was Obsidian and the
Yeah.
cave one. That was interesting for him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Obsidian.
it was good adaptations on both runners' parts. It was incredibly close between the two of them. Cam was later entering the end. Like it was basically like interchangeable for most of the run. Law had a slightly earlier tower leave, but it was kind of compensated by the fact that he was trying to travel during the night and lost some pace to mobs there. Cam ended up digging down a decent chunk later just because of running past it, whereas Law managed to figure out the triangulation.
Yeah, my
bit
pie was
quicker.
going crazy. I don't even know what was on it. I
But
left my
in-
tower and it was like showing me 3 strongholds. Like, I'm good. I'm just gonna use the ice.
Yeah.
3%.
But then absolutely brought it back on the end fight. Law had a couple of failed bed explosions that really punished him in the timing overall, and ended up having Cam winning 1.7 overall as the seed.
Yeah. So 1.14 runners. We don't need to talk about the first seed, I think, but what did we think
do
of the
not.
I
second
didn't like
seed?
it.
Didn't like it?
Well,
Just.
really?
Um,
I preferred the first seed, honestly. For tournament play.
um, I didn't approve for the rates that I had,
On the first
but-
seed?
but yeah, I think I played fine. There was a couple of hiccups in the nether, and then my end fight was atrocious. Well, yeah, should have been like 21 exact. Whatever. I missed 2 perches.
Yeah.
In the
I was
second seed,
scared.
right?
I was scared that I'm not gonna get enough pearls. There was like 17 C and 7 houses and no gold.
Yeah.
I also
that was
had
a bit-
1 Fletcher.
Yeah, Malin
that
also
makes
had one Fletcher. Were the
Yeah.
were the flint rates bad for both of you?
No, flint rates
No,
were awesome.
Honestly,
On first seed I had like 12 flint from 1 TNC.
yeah, I mean, in tournaments I prefer to do one Fletcher in both because I mean it doesn't lose that much time, and I don't like to wander around looking for villagers.
Mhm.
It's just a tournament thing. I mean, in a regular seed, I wouldn't play 1.14, but yeah. Other than that, it was a pretty good seed. Except maybe the nav was a bit weird.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what lost
nav
most of my
was-
time, I think.
Was strange, yes. I also didn't like that it's all land travel. I expected a horse.
Yeah, I also expected horse, but there was none. But it was a close stronghold though, so
Yeah, like 1k.
I mean, fundamentally, it doesn't matter whether it's ocean or land travel as long as it's equivalent for both runners.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't, like, I know people like to clown on Relay for giving, like, the easiest seeds, but not all of them are going to be, like,
do that.
ocean travel.
That was
So-
still fast.
yeah, it was
That was
extremely
still
easy, honestly.
Sub
Yeah.
20 stronghold and shit.
The most challenging part of that seed was the 2 ghasts that spawned in my nether.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
And the nav.
Oh, the terrain in Nether was also awful.
It was a little
Really?
tough, yeah.
It was fine.
I just took wrong pass. I breached all the way to the fort first.
Okay,
But then I went around
that would do it.
and kind of lost my home portal as well. That was
Okay.
fine. It was good pace.
I mean, to be
Or,
fair, I think the 114 was generally extremely comparable between the two of you. Obviously, we didn't get to see Malin's endgame, but
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean
most part,
the
I'd say that you were on the same pace up to the stronghold, just slightly differentiated.
I'm
Yeah.
not like gonna bash on 1.14. That's not what I'm here for. But the lack of pie chart really like hit me in the stronghold because I'm used to doing
yeah,
I'm used to doing
Preemptive.
preemptive.
But obviously, the main deciding factor of the match here in terms of time difference did stem from the 116 split comparison. Automat, what happened?
Yeah, I suck dicks. Yeah, that's the reason I
Oh
think.
no.
Mods ban him.
I mean, no, I just played bad. That's it. That's it. I don't know what to say. Like the death with the Hoglin was the funniest one. Just launched me straight in the lava. That's just.
Yeah.
I felt too good with myself to trust myself that it's not gonna throw me into lava. So that's why I died, and the rest of it just was. Yeah, bad pearls, bad pearl hunks, etc. So. A bad day, I guess. Shit happens. So GG to the 1.16 runner here.
Yeah.
Who played better.
Molly pulling out a very good run. I respect both of you on your creativity with the routing. Because that
Yeah.
It was an interesting bastion.
It
Yeah,
was an
because I got no pigs to do like Renix route. So I just went for like a good Benex route, you know, just trying to get as many pigs as I could from. I saw there was a bunch, or QM, and Sonia said that they saw a bunch under the chalice, right? So I just went back there and I traded with them.
And then you went
Just-
back up to the chests, and there were just like 5 up there. All of a
Yeah,
sudden.
suddenly they just spawned up there later. I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, I just decided to do the hole near the first single chest because there were like 3 pigs around here who weren't
Yeah.
aggroed after my first golden block destroyed. So I just decided to, go for here. It's gonna be the easiest one. There was one zombie pigman who, cost me like half a minute, I guess, with other pigs, but that's all. It wasn't too scuffed. It's just a double single, so it wasn't
Yeah.
that bad.
Did you get 20 obsidian?
And nah, I was at
No, I
11.
didn't either. Oh, I got
Oh.
I got 18, but I thought maybe I got 18 because I made golden carrots. So I was like really scared that I messed up by making golden carrots, so I didn't get 20.
I checked the seed right now, and I didn't loot the second chest with obsidian, so I got only 11 after the trades. And went for home portal because it was easy pearl hunk, which
Yeah, I
I
also
failed
did home
twice, but yeah.
We just sort of assumed there wouldn't be like 9 obsidian in the other chest and told Automat to skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20
Yeah,
obby
that's
wasn't necessary here in my opinion, so that was
You
my
also get
decision.
home portal. We should get home portal.
I think for the most part your runs were relatively paralleled, with the big RTA difference maker being the fact that Automat had to take a reset. But I have to just, like, Molly, I think that you played incredibly well. Like, obviously Matt is a very established tournament runner, and in general, like, credit to all of Dissing My Girl, because general public perception seemed to be that Żurek Chlebie.
How would you rate that pronunciation on a scale from 1 to 10?
Żurek was just right.
I'm trying not to cringe. That was okay.
Would you give that like a 4 out of 10?
Maybe in a good day, yeah, maybe.
A 9 out of 10 for the Żurek, the rest was like 2.
Is it chlebie?
Yeah, chlebie, yeah.
Chlebie.
Is it bread?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bread.
What's Żurek?
It's a
I
soup.
think that the important thing is that I tried.
That's
Yeah, like-
true.
Would like
That's
to
actually,
participation
you know,
prize.
we got many ideas for a team name. One of the names was Team Konstantynopolitańczyk Owianeczka, but I thought it was a little bit too
I
hard
would
to
have
say.
learned
so-
that.
That's good.
That's a good name.
I
Okay,
think
so Relay 4, Team Konstantynopolitańczyk Owianeczka is coming. Let's go.
Indeed.
It's gonna take like 30 seconds to announce just your team because I'm gonna be sounding it out.
Free content, free content.
That's what it's here for.
Ultimately, I do just want to give credit to Dissing My Girl for a great performance and want to warn everybody of the threat in the losers bracket that will be. I'm not going to try it again because I was mocked. But the Polish people, they're coming to the losers bracket,
Polska Giro.
and they are
Polska Góra.
I think it's so interesting because, you know, normally with these types of tournaments, obviously you have such different like matches with, you know, seed 2 against seed 31. But at the end of the day in this tournament, I would say that almost every team is incredibly strong. So even though we are having some upsets in the seeding, like, and you know, some matches that are not upsets, like all of the teams in both the winners and the losers bracket are going to be incredibly strong. So I would not say that the losers bracket matches are going to be any less exciting in this tournament.
Hopefully not. Because we're there.
Yeah, me too, bud. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe you will meet. I don't know. I haven't looked at the bracket.
I haven't even.
Hopefully not. I'm scared of you. At least in
Aw.
1.15.
Yay!
Unless you agree to 1.15.
note.
What do you mean somebody's scared of you and you're saying yay? What do you mean?
That's a compliment. For somebody to not want to play against you, is
I'm
a nice
scared
thing
you'll
to say.
pick 1.14 again. That's
Aw.
what
I
I'm scared of.
will. Spoiler alert.
Oh no.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start wrapping this up now. Is there anything either team would like to say before we do a send off?
Yeah, total GG's, good game, well played. I'm
Yeah,
gonna rewatch
GG.
and see how all of you, my dear opponents, went. But as I've heard from here, your times were amazing. So GG's, well deserved.
Yeah, GG's.
Deserved.
Thanks for the game.
Well played.
Yeah. Thank you for our organizers, as always.
Yeah,
Everybody who's involved
thanks.
in seed finding. Good seats here.
Also
good seats.
commentators.
Yeah, very
you.
interesting.
Thank you, everyone.
I don't know. Wait till you watch it back before you want to get.
Oh, yeah. There was some
Okay.
114 roasting going on. Not that we were
Oh.
roasting the version. We were.
Okay.
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 I'm gonna look.
So we are going to go to an intermission now because our next match is only in 25 minutes. So if everyone in chat wants to keep the tab open so they can be ready for the next round, that would be amazing. And once again, thank you to all the runners. It was amazing to have you play today and to watch all of your very amazing runs. So we look forward to seeing you again in your next matches. And I hope everyone, all the runners and chat, has an excellent day. So bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.